Good morning, Steve Reed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Soybeans up about 10 cents in the Jan. Meal's up almost $3. Corn unchanged, up about a penny, while wheat's unchanged to maybe a penny better in Minneapolis. Stock market's higher. Dollar's quite a bit lower. Crude tested $80 support overnight, is now higher. We've got gold higher. Coffee, cocoa, sugar, cotton, all higher. I think in the grains, the number one thing is the fact that China is showing interest in U.S. February soybeans. They may have already bought some. Now, we also note that the long-range forecast down in central and northern Brazil is drier. That could be a factor down the road. Obviously, when we look at the charts in the January beans, we've been trading sideways between this $13 and $13.25 area for some time now. We need to trade or close probably over $13.40 to turn the market higher, just like a trade below $13 would be negative. So in general, the market is still trying to figure out, is South American weather enough to push higher? Does this China's soybean demand in this narrow U.S. soybean window pick up? And then just what about the money flow with the funds? Basically, even soybeans, they've long meal and have a very small long in the oil position. The crush was 175 as expected. Soybean oil stocks at 1600 as expected and very tight. But again, yesterday's steep drop in crude oil offered more resistance to soybean oil and corn than any of the other data. As far as corn is, these corn's at 7-week low. If we close here tomorrow, it will be the lowest weekly close since September of 21. Ethanol data was pretty good, production up 1%, while stocks are down 2%. Export sales today for beans, somewhere between 900 and 1.5 million tons. Last week was almost 1.4 million tons. Corn, 600 to 1,200. Last week it was 1.3 million tons. There is some new concern about grain flow. Ukraine, Russia dropping explosive devices along the Black Sea shipping lanes. Also, Ukraine has this new export registration and license requirement. All this could slow some Ukraine exports of wheat and corn. Here in the United States, pretty much dry weather over the next 2 weeks. They took out some rain and snow for the late second week in the forecast. We did get some rains that might help some of the Mississippi logistics, but more is needed to make it normal. And when we look at money flow, again, stock market's up. At the end of the day, people thought that Powell's comments suggested that they were near the end of raising rates. We'll also be watching about policy of higher rates longer, and just see how that affects consumer confidence.